Hello, everyone. My name is Kenneth Love, and I'm the founder and executive director of Break Free Ministries. I'm a Christian minister, relationship counselor, and addiction professional. Thank you for visiting us on today. And I want to invite you to visit our webpage, breakfreeministries.org. Our reflection today is posed as a question: what price do you pay for missing out on what you give out? What price do you pay for missing out on what you give out? And our scripture is taken from the first letter to the church in Corinth, chapter 9, verse 26 and 27. Here it reads, "So I run with purpose in every step. I am not just shadow boxing. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified." What price do you pay for missing out on what you're giving out? Here, Paul uses the metaphor of athletic competition to explain the necessity of spiritual discipline and purpose to the Christian life. He wants us to understand how important it is that we've got to live with purpose, right? And purpose cannot be lived without being focused and being intentional about what we're doing. And not just about what we're saying, but what we're doing. You see, for years, some of you know that I was not living out what I was giving out. In other words, I wasn't walking my talk. And that was a problem, right? And that's what Paul is talking about when he says, I don't want to preach the gospel and at the same time disqualify myself. Now, let's be clear. He's not talking about our salvation, right? Because our salvation is a gift of God. It's not about works. And scriptures are clear about that when it says, "For we are saved by grace through faith, not of ourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." So it's not about that. It's about living on purpose in such a way that we make a difference, not in the lives that we proclaim the truth, but in our own lives as well. I don't know about you, but I don't want to keep missing out on what I'm giving out. And I'm so glad in God's tender mercy and grace, he was patient enough with me while I worked out my salvation and I came to the end of myself as a Christian and as a minister of the gospel, and realized that I was fooling my own self, that I was a fake and a phony, and that God was not pleased with me. And so today, my life is different. And today can be a day for you to make some changes. Perhaps you've been doing the same thing I did for so long. And what that was I was missing out on what I was giving out. And I was paying a price for doing that. So today can make all the difference in the world. And I want to challenge you to get honest with God, acknowledge where you're at so he can take you where you need to go. You can't act like you're somewhere that you're not, because God doesn't deal in lies and untruth. He only deals in truth and reality. So won't you surrender today and allow him to take you where he would have you to be so that you can live a life that is full and fulfilling and meaningful and purposeful. A purposeful life is what he has for you. Until next time,